THEO POUCHAIRE. THEO POUCHAIRE.
THEO POUCHAIRE. 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 THEO POUCHAIRE. THEO POUCHAIRE is a Formula 2 driver currently racing with ART. And I'll tell you what, he's doing a bloody good job, mate. He currently sits... Well, hang on, we'll get to that, because you know how this works. You know what we do. I don't get straight into it. I've got to drag out the watch time a bit. But we will get straight to it. We will get to his whole career, and we will get to where he is and where he's going to go. But as always, this is Who is Theo Pouchaire? He began his career in his single-seating kind of racing career, obviously, in 2018 in two different championships. One of them with 10 races, one of them was 21 races. French F4 Championship and French F4 Championship Junior. That's right, there's a difference, okay? And they're both with FFSA Academy. However, in just normal French F4 Championship, he was this is how it is written in the law, was ineligible for overall championship classification or points due to competing as a junior. Wikipedia is a wonderful thing, but so he didn't actually get points or a championship place because he was still a junior. However, he absolutely outshone everyone else. Not really, but 10 races, and as a junior, 1 win, 4 podiums. So, he was a good junior. He wasn't any old junior. He wasn't, your average run-of-the-mill junior. He was a good junior. If I say junior one more time, ouch. Anyway, in the French F4 Championship, junior, oh God, there's 21 races he raced in that one, obviously. He played the full season. 16 wins out of 21 races. That's mind-blowing right there. And 20 podiums. Only one race where he didn't get a podium. 408.5 points. And he obviously won that championship. He smashed it. Mental. Absolutely mental. He dominated. We moan about Hamilton dominating. Imagine being a French F4 Championship Junior supporter. You'd be devastated. So with that kind of season, of course, he went into a different championship, and that was the ADAC Formula 4 Championship with US Racing. 20 races, 4 wins, 6 poles, 12 podiums, 258 points. Not as dominating as his French F4 Championship Junior run, but it was still enough to win him the championship. That's 2 consecutive championships in Formula 4 in a row. One in a junior and then straight up to Formula 4 and bosses it. So, where do you go from there? You're at the top of junior kind of divisions right now. You go to Formula 3, of course, with ART. This is 2020 now, last year, and 18 races, 2 wins, 8 podiums, 161 points. Second place in the standings, obviously, Oscar Piastri won Formula 3 that year, and they've both gone on to F2. But he also had a little rendezvous in Formula 2. All the rhymes. Jeez. BW2 HWA Race Lab in Formula 2. He raced 4 races with them. And he did nothing. He didn't score any points. He didn't do anything. He came 26th. So, just forget that bit. Remember that he came second in Formula 3. The reasons for his little Formula 2 endeavour was because he replaced Jake Hughes for the final 2 rounds in 2020. Obviously with HWA Race Lab. He qualified 16th for the first feature race, finished 18th, and he retired the sprint race, and then he finished the final two in 18th and 21st. But it doesn't matter. That's not important, okay? Because it wasn't fair. It was sprung on him. Okay, I'm defending him, but it doesn't matter because he only raced 4 races. It wasn't really important. But yeah, the fact he came second in FIA Formula 3 with ART meant he got the promotion to F2 again with ART. And this is where we are now in 2021. Theo Pouchaire has won his very first race. He won the feature race as well, the most points you possibly can get. And it's looking very good for him. I have faith he can be maybe top 4, maybe top 3, maybe second. I don't think he'll win it, but he has a good chance at winning it next year. So I think there's going to be a big shootout between Piastri, Lawson, him, some others, maybe Tictum. Anyway, he is third in the standings, the Formula 2 standings. He's had 2 pole positions already, only can convert one of them to a win, but he still sits on 47 points. However, that is not the end, because we always look at where they are most likely to go in the future. You can't fully predict it, but you can have a good idea, especially with rookies, if they are signed to a team. I don't think this man will be in F1 in the very near future. He's only 17. I feel like he's going to definitely have another season in F2, probably another win even after that, if he doesn't win it next year, because he is so young, he has so much time. I do think it's only a matter of time, though, before he makes it into Formula 1. But he is currently with the Sauber group, which means it's not necessarily a team in Formula 1, but it is obviously Alfa Romeo, Ferrari kind of. That's the direction you would expect him to go. But he could end up really anywhere being part of the Sauber group. And if I'm being honest with you, I think after this year, maybe even in the future, I have a feeling he might end up joining another team, specifically Mercedes. That is a little prediction, because they've clearly been building their academy with the new signing of Vesti. They're clearly looking to have some more F2 drivers in their academy, I think, because they're short on academy drivers. I've spoken about this before. They do not have many. And looking to Mercedes' future, after Russell, who have they actually got that they could sign other than drivers who aren't in an academy, like already in Formula 1 kind of thing? Maybe Gasly, Verstappen kind of thing. But you want someone in F2, F3 for the future, and they can't rely solely on Frederick Vesti, because maybe he flops, what happens. So they need to get a few, and I think Theo Pouchaire could be the one they're looking for. Also, McLaren don't have anyone in their driver academy. In F2, F3, F1, that area, and it's a hole in the McLaren future, because they've got Lando Norris, and he's going to be with them for 10 years probably. Why not? Because let's be honest, they're looking to be a big team again. And who's second? Daniel Ricciardo's not got 10 years left. He's 33, I think. I'm not sure, but they need a young driver, same as Mercedes, who can be there when Lando Norris even retires, or when Daniel Ricciardo moves on. There's no one to fill the gap at the moment. What if Daniel Ricciardo next year said, I'm retiring? McLaren would be completely clueless as to who to sign. They would have to look to F2, but all the top drivers in F2 have academies, so they need to get some people into their academies, and I think those are the 2 teams who are going to look to do it. Red Bull, Ferrari, they could. I wouldn't be surprised. Same with Alpine, but they've got stacked academies. I hope for him that he doesn't. Let's be honest, Piastri is most likely to move on from Alpine Academy to Alpine. Ferrari, they've got Schumacher, they've got Leclerc in terms of the F1 team. But I think realistically for Theo, it's either going to be Alfa Romeo in the near future, but what about Eilert, Schwartzman, all the other Ferrari Academy drivers, or it's going to be McLaren or Williams moving on then to Mercedes. So that is where he could go. We've talked about where he's been and where he is now. We've covered everything, top to bottom, and I do hope you've learned something, as I always say. But this man is only 17, as I said, so this one is definitely one to keep an eye on. I say that all the time, keep an eye on him. 17 years old. Absolute class driver. I'll see you in a jiffy.